Hi, I am the greatest. It seems like this is turning into a bit of a collaboration, but whatever. It's good fun. So I've got your stuff working. Let's dive right in. I'm not a YouTuber, honest. Uh, so where the fuck is your dude gone? There he is. Okay, so there's your person. You will notice a few things straight away. I'll stop the camera shaking around so much so you don't vomit trying to watch this. So first of all, we have this black box, and I've coloured it that way to sort of indicate a camera, because traditionally cameras are black. And then your camera's actually gone, which is up there where you see, well, I'm circling with the right in. So I'll look at that in a second. The other thing I've quickly done, just before I forget to mention it, it's kind of just undoing some bits you'd had in your logic. It was in the keyframe here. I think you were modifying the controller logic to switch to possessable when you were in the build mode. So I've completely removed that from either of these build options, so for the wood and for the stone. So I'll get to that now. So that's all that's changed. Oh yeah. And the last preamble. Let's go into X-ray, I guess. There was this strange little block. I think your camera was sort of attached to it, maybe, or something. So I've just put that there. So if you're going, hey, where's my sandstone-looking block? It's there. Okay, so step one would be to look at, I guess, the controller logic. So let's go into the player. So what have we got? Right, so one thing that's changed, let's go in here, into the imp mode. So now it's always on possessable, or it doesn't really matter. Yeah, sorry, possessable is important, I think. I can't remember, because I don't think you have the imp in remote control. I could be wrong. But anyway, this now doesn't change via that keyframe, so that's the main thing to think about. So the other thing I've got is this. So you've got for this controller logic, so this would be player one, you've got a hover position. Right, so you read there, it says outputs the coordinates of the position in the scene that the imp is hovering over. So if it's hovering over anything, I think you can exclude stuff, but yeah, generally if it's hovering over anything, Dreams will go in and sort of work out what is the actual world position of that. Because like the imp could be right up here, so then you're going to think, oh no, my position's going to be right in front of the lens. But really what Dreams will do, it will fire a laser internally, not like an actual logic laser, but it will, the same thing, it'll fire a laser from the camera through the position where the imp is, the little dot there you can see waving around, and then whatever it first hits, that's its hovering position that gets output there. Right, so that's outputting into this new wireless transmitter. So the imp hover position. So I personally tend to do wireless stuff for that because you don't get these wires like chonking all over the place, but also you can quite easily then have multiple things just like listening to that imp hover position. So you might have a bit of logic over here going, right, I want to see what the imp's over, a bit of logic over there, a bit of logic blah 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 blah, and with the ability with the wireless way of doing it is, imagine 10 things all wanting the hover position. You're going to have wires like a spider's web. So yeah, so basically that is pushing out to the imp hover position. And the other thing is it's related to something I'll show you in a second, but before you had the right stick for rotation of camera, and that was feeding, I think, pretty much directly out into something over here. But now instead it's doing the splitting logic you had here to get the is the right stick going left or right. But now I have this thing here. This is what sets the speed of how much we should rotate. So what that's doing, it's basically going whatever the joystick is saying. So I think it's, what is it, -1 to 1 for left and right, and then it's multiplying that by, you know, how much we want the camera to rotate around the character. So we're saying 3 here, and so you can come in here and tweak that at your leisure. And again, to avoid the wires, I've called that into a wireless transmitter called turn camera speed. Right, so that's, I think, pretty much the only difference in this logic. So let's bomb out of there. Right, so what do we have? Don't need to look at anything in there. Nope. Okay, so yeah, right. So this is another thing that's changed. The camera position before snap, I've renamed that for you so it makes more sense. But yeah, this greyish block now no longer lives inside the player. Right? So read that as the title says, the cursor's position before snap. So this is where we want to place our wood or our stone or any other resource. So let's say I'm aiming here, let's just drag it over here. This is where I'm hoping to place it, and then this green one is where the computer's like snapping it and then saying, no, actually you're going to place it near where you wanted, but at this snap point. Okay, I think you already knew that, but I'm just explaining it again. So the logic in there has slightly changed. Before you just had the laser scope and the target position, which was, can you see it's that thing I was just saying, feeding into there. So now, remember that imp hover position we had all the way, sorry, it's in there, but it opens up over there in the logic pane. In your controller logic, that's now spitting out the position, and we're then just basically, the follower will make this this greyish block follow, so move towards wherever it's decided the imp is hovering. So basically it's as if, so I'm about to pick it up, you can't see my finger pressing the controller, but as if I'm picking it up, the imp is hovering over, finding the position, and now the follower will just make it always follow it. Okay, so that's the only logic there. It's kind of a little dumb block that does all the things it should do. And in here, nothing's changed, except I added a tag, build cursor. So if we wanted, we could get the position of that. I don't think that's being used. But yeah, I just thought that would be sensible. So then in here, I think this is the last piece, which you will be wondering what's the point. So this is basically our camera, right? So this black block signifies the camera target, right? So if I put it there, that would be now where the camera points to. And on the camera target, so let's open it up, you see we have just some simple logic. So the first bit is, I think you had this before, let me just move that in there. Oh, fuck it. The first bit I think you had before potentially, but if not anyway, it's basically tells the black block to follow the player. Let's open it up, player 1. You know, at that speed, and then you can tweak the looseness like you could before. So this is like the target, hey, this is where I want to follow it with those parameters. So the other one, so now this is where your camera turns. So you see we've got here the turn camera speed, and that is basically turning the camera pretty much the same as you had before, except the only difference is the speed is not specified here, it's specified by the controller logic that I showed at the start. So now, the way to do the orbital camera, you had it slightly wrong how you're doing it, so hopefully I can explain. So yeah, that the turn thing is actually turning this entire block. So let me demonstrate. It's picking the block up and basically turning it like that. Alright? Obviously only on the y-axis. But that's what this is, its job here, is to turn it on the y-axis. Right? So then that's awesome because we can use Dreams' camera awesomeness. So once we've plonked this camera chip onto the logic chip there, which is attached to the black camera block, it's basically saying this is oh, that's my wife. This is the camera target, and now we want the camera, can you see it's all the way over there, to always be pointing at it, which is fine because we can set, we can do the angle on the camera, you know, oops, we can move the hold on, whoop, can't get over there quick enough. Yeah, so we can move this around, damn it, there we go. So apparently it's being strange. I think it's because Dreams is a bit finicky. There we go. So we could move that around, and then this is always going to be the orientation that the camera will have to the player. Right? So it's always going to be that orientation. And you can see that in effect. Let me move this out of the way. So if you note where the camera position is, if we bring the black block around, can you see it's coming with it? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It means we've got a camera target, and it's always going to stay, look, even angle works. So now, so you imagine the missing link was, well, how do I get it to rotate around a certain point? Well, we've already established that it takes the position because of the way Dreams groups stuff. But now we have that rotator, remember, so if I were to rotate it, can you see it's rotating around that center point? So that's how you make like a little camera rig in Dreams. Okay, so with that all in effect, we've got the camera bit nice and fixed. We've got it so it's not hiding the imp, it's basically always in imp mode. This grey block is matching in the world the position of the imp's, something that the imp's hovering over. This green block is trying to follow it, you know, and snap. And with that, we should have a working thing. So let's go in play mode. So you know, go in and hide that if you want. So I'm going to press left and right on the right stick. Can you see? Camera is sticking in, but it's rotating around the player. Notice how it's nice and smooth now. I think you had some kind of weird rubber bandy weirdness on. That's my wife again. She's playing Beat Saber. So yeah, so that's working, and now you can see here always have the imp. Very good. So let's go and that's still working. Your interaction method. Get some wood. Now let's switch into build mode. So you can see here the imp is following. Excellent. So to be honest, I might have to turn up the follow speed. I thought I put it at max, or this might just be the maximum it has. But anyway, let's go build there. You can build up there. Build up there. Build there. And there we go. It's a working.